we're just trying to figure this stuff out, and I don't know. Me and Dean are like, okay, do we go live? This is a first for me. I am, as all of you can understand, me and Dean like a polished video that we put
True.
out. All right. And so this kind of is very unnerving for, I think, both of us. Would you agree, Dean?
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, because you just don't know, and you can't edit it.
No, there's no editing and there's no control. I know I don't even know. I mean, trying to show notes and things like that. Like,
Yeah, the only frustrating thing is when you're live, if you show a note, it's going to be all backwards.
yeah, it's gonna be horrible. So when I do this, right?
Yeah,
So
so
for
it's all
example,
backwards.
it's all backwards. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all backwards. So you guys just
great,
saw me walk away. But I
great
am going to
note.
show this note because this is a note that I just got. So if I'm going to show one note backwards, I think I'm
Okay.
okay with showing this note. So this is
Yeah.
probably, you guys all know I'm a cheap bastard and budget minded. And, for me, this was probably my biggest purchase. And it was on Heritage. Um, it was on Heritage and it was just at a price it had a good look, still has some good eye appeal, not the best, but
Yeah.
for a 15 and for it being a Morgan back, I'm just like, I'm totally doing this. All right, so Walker Magnet. Yeah, maybe with the round table thing. The problem is you've got at least two members of our panel that are technically challenged. Stu Plubeck, I'm calling you out because he's seriously technically challenged. But, we're trying to do this just on YouTube Direct, staying with that. I do have Zoom, which is what I record our roundtables with. And it does give me the ability to invite people on and et cetera like that. But I can't, Zoom will not connect with my YouTube account for whatever reason. Everything's set up. So I got to call somebody during the day. I got to call somebody at Zoom and go, WTF is basically what it is.
Mm.
So hey, Jeff Davis,
I know. Hey,
welcome.
Jeff Davis. All right.
And Mr. I don't know, I don't want to say your name wrong. M. Hor, I don't know. You got an umlaut in there, but it's going well. Thank you. We're getting a little lag here. I don't know where that coming is from. So
The delay, yeah, just it's how it's supposed to be, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, I forgot what I was. So the format for the roundtable and what going live really, really hurts is that I can't show the notes that we're talking about. And for me, part of the roundtable, a big thing for me is being able to show the actual notes that we're talking about at the time that they come up, when they're
Yeah.
mentioned. And
Well,
especially for the viewers that are newer to currency collecting. And I'm very mindful of that. So,
yeah.
yes. Stream you okay, so Walker Magnet. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you, Dean.
Well, I was just gonna say you can if you switch your I believe if you switch the orientation of your camera,
Yeah, like if I do
then
this.
yes, then you could show the note, and there it goes. It looks perfect. That's how it's supposed to look.
So
Yeah.
I could technically,
Yes, you could do that. Yep.
and then, I'm looking even prettier. Yes. First, you
Yeah.
got to see Dean on the computer because now the delay is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So Pablo Delgado. I might just leave it like this because, I don't need to see 18 screens.
That's right.
Um, I'm trying to answer this. So say go back to Walker Magnet. Yes, Streamlabs. We know that Big Apple uses StreamYard.
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to avoid, I know everybody's shocked that might be cheap, Dean. I don't know. Trying not to pay for services, but they do allow to hook up extra cameras to do two cameras, which we can't do with YouTube. So that's what I would want to do. The whole thing is that it's starting to get a little bit too complicated for me, but is it any more complicated than taking literally 10 hours to edit a roundtable, which is what it takes me, by the way. But I love it. I love doing that stuff too. So it's not like it's a chore. Okay, so let's get back to our comments here. Yeah, and I figure if Big Apple can do StreamYard, Dean,
Yeah, I think what we the reason why we're a little hesitant on the StreamYard was because like you were talking about before, not everybody is really strong with technology. So we were trying to make it as easy as possible. And literally, for you to do this, you started the live, you sent me a link, I got it going. And StreamYard, I believe, is that easy. You just have to download the software or app, whatever it is. And I
and ano-
believe it's free. I believe you can get a free subscription to that, and then you can pay more if you want added features. I think, but you'd have to check with Big Apple on that one because he uses it
well,
all the time.
here's so I don't know what it looks like. I can't see what I'm doing anymore with a note.
Yeah,
So I got a note up in front of the camera because of the delay.
yeah.
I,
Walker
I
just said it is free.
okay, it is free, but here I'm going to show a note because the problem with StreamYard 2, it's only 720. You guys can't see the note. I'm an idiot. I am so stupid. Here I'm
I
holding it
was
on
like,
the other side of the camera.
I was like, why is he holding?
I'm
That's
just an
funny.
idiot. Whatever you do, don't bring out the mirrors. Okay,
Yeah,
Zero. I don't even know how to say it, but I like you because that was really mean and dispirited, and I think I appreciate that a lot. I really do.
don't bring out the
Anyways, I don't
mirrors.
know how good. Now my lighting is shat here, and it does not do anything. But I know that StreamYard doesn't do a great job of showing notes. So,
Yeah,
all right, we better get back to folks are saying. So Walker Magnet picked up the $1 extra fine educational notes. Sweet
nice.
note. Very nice. Obviously, I'm looking back at the delay and just that note that I showed. Picked up a nice $4 old obsolete. All right, so Pablo, I got a question. I got a $1 bill, a 1995, the treasurer of the USA, two signature, Mary Ellen Withrow and Robert E. Ruin. How can I submit on the PCGS? Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you back, Pablo, is what's significant normally a 1995 note unless it is extremely high grade? And we're talking 66, 67. Probably is not financially worth doing, but I'm not the one that should say that because I literally am submitting notes that their value is probably,
Yeah,
I don't know, $50 or less. But what you have to do, I would say PCGS Banknote does a nice job. The two biggest differences with PCGS Banknote and PMG and submitting bills, PMG allows you to do it for $25. So once you pay them $25, you can submit a note at a time to them. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend sending in groups of 10 because of shipping and handling that they charge, and you pay back and forth. But my point is, for $25, you can get on PMG. Now, for PCGS Banknote, you have to join. I think it's at least like $80 it's more expensive to get into PCGS Banknote. But at the end of the day, if you keep on submitting banknotes, you'll save money.
yeah,
So there's that. And it's like some people do like PCGS banknotes, some people don't like PM, whatever. I've heard there's issues going on with PMG that they literally don't have well, I'm not going to, well, I kind of, I've heard they're having problems with their graders.
yeah,
And I've heard that some of those graders have gone over to PCGS banknote, but I still don't think it matters. It's NGC or PCGS and now CAC, CACG. Dean, I don't think it really matters. It's like, what do you
yeah.
think?
I don't think it really matters, quite honestly. Um, I yeah. Uh, if
So did Ontario? Oh, Ontario joined us.
Yeah, I was just
Nice.
going through. Sorry. So,
No.
so Jeff Davis says the Streamyard is very easy. He's technology challenged, and then Ontario did join us. Walker asked a really great question. He said, "How often do you guys use heritage for your collections, and is it worth the buyer's premium?" And we were just watching some auctions just the other night, and these were Canadian notes, so take it or leave it. But they were notoriously very expensive notes in past auctions. and the people that bought them got them for an amazing deal, uh, even with the buyer's premium. So there are deals to be had at Heritage and other auction houses. I would think. I'm assuming you probably feel the same way, Dan, when it comes to certain notes and certain times of year.
It is. I mean, even with more often than not with Heritage and with Stacks and Bowers. All right, I will include them in there. Stacks Bowers is harder to use.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say that. They just Heritage is very regular. They're auctions that are at most people's time schedules in the evenings. Whatever. But Heritage, like for example, yeah, going back to that auction, me and Dean were watching an auction along with Ontario, actually. And Ontario, by the way, is the worst guy to watch at an auction. He will spend your money
yeah,
faster. I mean, the guy
yeah,
had a hand in my wallet, and I'm in
yeah.
Minnesota, and he's in South Carolina. I don't know how he did it.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
going back, me and Dean we like our Canadian notes, and they had we've kept an eye there. I like I have two $4 bills, and a Canadian $4 note came up, and it's
yeah.
a is that a Dominion of Canada note, Dean? I can't remember.
The $4 that was up, yeah, it
Yeah,
was, and that's a really highly sought after note, and it was kind of
it was lower grade.
dirtier.
It was a
Well, it was a lower
15.
grade, but it seemed pretty dirty for a 15. But still, correct me if I'm wrong. It went for right around $1,000,
It
and
went.
typically those go for like 1,600 in a 15. So whoever bought that really
They got a deal.
they got a deal. And then same with the Queen Elizabeth note that when she was a little girl, that usually goes for about 2 grand, and I'm pretty sure that again went around
A thousand
what
bucks.
$1,000. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I think both those notes went for at least the Queen Elizabeth note went for half,
yeah.
hands
Oh yeah,
down, half.
yeah.
The $4 bill, I think, went for 500. So getting back to the original question,
Right.
I have this note that I purchased, that I showed. I got myself the Morgan back. It
Yeah,
came up. I wasn't planning. This is one of those things where pull the trigger when you see the note. It came up. I'm like, I think this note. It's in my wheelhouse. It's got on an eye appeal scale for a 15, it's got like a 6 in my opinion, 7.
yeah,
And again, in my budget range, that's what I'm going to get, and I'm happy with
yeah.
it.
It's a great
But
note.
on eBay, so it was $1,500 all in.
Yeah,
Okay, total shipping, tax, everything. Well, it was actually less than that because I picked up that $50 $4 note that was included in that. Um, on eBay, we went and looked on eBay. I've been checking these on eBay. That same note is going for 2,000.
yeah.
And so I'm getting this for $1,500 with a premium, with shipping, with handling. But that's not true every single time. And by the
Right.
way, you might lose out on that note. You might lose to a bidder. There was
Yeah,
another note that I
yeah,
was looking at a couple weeks ago, and this guy wanted it. I mean, I would click
yeah,
the button, I would bid, and instantly I've been outbid. I've been outbid 4 times in a row. And I'm like, dude, you really want it? I'm not spinning out of control here.
right.
So, and whatever, if they want it, great. So
Yeah.
hopefully that answers your question. I want to
Yeah.
get back to.
Well, and Sco, he said he saw, and this is a perfect plug for Dan and I. He said he saw that my 23 star note was on Instagram, and that is correct. So both Dan and I are on Instagram. So if you do want to follow us there, you can. Polar Currency and Massabesic Numismatics. And yes, I haven't received that star note yet, but that's one that I just got from Heritage, or I just won the other night.
I mean, it's due any
Um,
day, or no? You That was Monday that
no,
went.
hasn't. Yeah, hasn't even shipped. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then back to Walker's question about, is there a strategy? Do you set a kind of a proxy for your limit and let it fall where it may? That's pretty much, yeah. That's what I did on that 23 star note, the 1923 star
yes.
note. I just I think my max bid was $255, and then with the buyer's premium, I think it was right around 300, and I was happy with that price because I'd been looking for one for a long time. So it worked for me. I checked the box, and hopefully they'll send it to me soon.
I mean, so just to let you
Yeah,
know, I mean, for me, I am researching notes. You
yeah,
have to be prepared with your knowledge, and I know I sound like some prick, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but you really do have to be prepared,
yeah,
and know what notes because they come up, and I can't search on Heritage every single minute of every single day to see what I'm looking. I do peruse the auctions though,
yeah,
but sometimes notes come up, and you're like, "Well, that's gonna it's gonna go out of control," and this one didn't, and I'm like, "Ooh, it's worth
yeah,
watching." But before that, I am looking at I'm checking this out. I love this book. We highly recommend it, even though it says charters in it.
yeah,
For those of you who watched that roundtable, you get it. But this is again only put out 4 or 5 years, so be
yeah,
careful of the pricing. I think they're a little high in here, but that's not a bad thing for us guys.
yeah,
Now, I do use the green sheet. I get the newest one of that. Um, but I think I'm going to stop getting the green sheet because the green sheet comes from the Red Book Quarterly.
yeah,
And so when you go into here, the retail's already in there. My whole point with this, and my last thing, and I've explained this on a video before, is I'm on Heritage searching recent sales. I'm on eBay searching current and post sales
yeah,
to get an idea of what, for example, I knew uh, I knew the information on that Morganback silver certificate that I got. I knew that I didn't want to go over $1,600. That
right,
wasn't just my budget. That's a fair price. So I didn't get a great price on it,
yeah,
according to just what I just showed you on all the price guides. I got a very fair price, and I think that's all I expect. But over on eBay, they're selling for 2 grand. So, Dean,
yeah. Ontario just said recent auction sales are the best. That is what collectors are paying for a note, and I agree wholeheartedly. Ontario,
yes,
absolutely.
if you
Yeah,
can download the Heritage app on your phone, and if
yeah,
you're going at a dealer or a show, you
yeah.
drill down and you bring in that. And by the way, some of the notes, don't let that FR crap get in the way.
That's right.
I mean, most of the time there are certainly there's FRs that are more valuable, but for the
Yeah,
most, they're all the same. But you'll get a dealer. Well, this is an FR blabbity blue, and I'm like,
yeah,
I look at them like crickets. Just no, I don't care. It's like these pricing on average, but you can pull the recent sales up right in front of that and go, this is what they're selling for today.
yeah.
And
Eve
go ahead, Dean.
I was just gonna say, and Jeff Davis just wrote as well. I like Heritage, and I've had a good luck. Do your homework before you bid, and I think that's absolutely true, and that's what we're talking about is doing that. Hey, Big Apple's here, and I think I
All
see Joe from the Coin Box as well. Awesome, this is great. Yeah,
right, Pablo, I want to take care of you. I
yeah,
want to know why you want that graded. I'm not questioning it. I just trying to help.
yeah,
So I have an email, polarcurrency@gmail.com. And it's not like I hide it. It's on my YouTube channel. You can find it. But yeah, please contact me through that. Give me send me some good pictures, but and tell me why you want it. I don't know. One of the signers could be your uncle for all I know. I don't know, or aunt. I don't know. But that generally is not a note that you want to have. And for those of you just joining, Pablo was asking, he's got a 1995 $1 FRN.
yeah,
Must be something pretty special about it that he is looking to get graded. So you never know.
yeah.
So I'm looking at comments here. I signed up for track and price. Okay. Um, Ontario might be able to. I mean, I know Ontario. I've got a couple friends that use track and price. And it's not bulletproof because not everybody reports the sales. But I believe Ontario, if you in the content in the I can't talk in the comments, Ontario, ring in if you think track and price is worth the price. It's not the cheapest thing, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and yeah, WTF, Big Apple, WTF. I know you can't take it.
Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this with the Big Apple for sure. This was
Yes,
Big Apple. This is the second live we've done tonight. The first one we were both completely muted, so it was horrible. Uh, so we
it
had to
it
do it. We had to do it right.
it was. By the way, I don't know what the acronym is for WTF, so be careful with those acronyms because I don't know. I don't have. I'm going to be 60 coming up here. 60. And you know what? You know what I'm doing for my 60th? I'm going to tell people about this. What am I doing for my 60th, Dean?
I don't know. Are you going to a coin show maybe?
I'm going to a coin show, and my wife is older than me. She's so much older. She turned 60 last year. We got three grown daughters. They're 25, 27, and 30. They're like, we're going to take mom to Florida because that's where she wants to go. My wife loves beaches, and we're going to celebrate her 60th birthday. The only problem is the stupid son in laws had to come in. I have a
Yeah.
son in law, I have a fiance, and I got a boyfriend. I am just screwed. It's like, anyways, they're all good guys, whatever. They're kind of like coin collectors. I like them, but I really don't want to. Anyways, I got to choose a trip. They're like, well, Dad, you're turning 60, and we're going to Ben the Coin Geeks show in Tucson, Arizona on, I don't know, it's like the 17th, 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. Long weekend down in Tucson. And the whole family, including new grandbaby that's literally due any day now.
Mhm.
Due any day. My daughter is as big as a house. I shouldn't say that, but man, I just feel bad for her. I mean, I
Yeah.
know I shouldn't say that. I love her. She's beautiful. Anyways, I don't know why I got into that because we weren't going to talk about personal stuff because we're super boring, Dean. But
Well, I just was just reading through some of these. Black Raven Currency says that he only uses track and price for nationals.
yes,
And then Ontario just said the track and price is a good product, lots of good information. I don't know enough about it. I know Ontario is really the specialist when it comes to that for us on the round table. And Walker, I'm not sure. He said I got almost a half price offer for the bills I wanted. I will give it a year. So I don't know if he was doing some selling and
yeah. Is there?
um,
I don't. Is there selling on track and price? I'm not familiar with that either.
I
So
don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
all right,
So,
I'm
but
gonna be personal here. You see me playing with a brush here. So for those of you who don't know, I work for a historical society, and every year we do a festival of trees, and guess who the fat guy gets to dress up as? That's me. So I get to dress up and and be Santa Claus. So if you're wondering why my beard keeps on getting longer at this time of year, because I grow my beard out to be Santa Claus. And there's just nothing better than having all those nice kids come up. And you know what? I say, well, you're not going to get that because it's your fault that your mom and dad got divorced. And then they go on, and the next kid comes along.
nice.
There's just nothing better than ruining a kid's. You
Oh,
know,
that's awesome.
hey R&R, how are you, sir? Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
I don't have. Speaking of beards, holy ZZ Top.
Yeah.
R&R's got the beard in half.
It's getting there. Yeah, Big Apple.
Um,
We're not talking Morgan dollars, but I'm trying to buy some more S Mint Morgans. uh,
so Walker Magnet. Walker Magnet does have his channel. And so he got like 3,000, right? I'm gonna
well, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like so Walker, congratulations by the way. Meaning he's just earned his first. Oh, he's got 1.6. So yeah, okay. So I am going to talk about Walker Magnet a little bit, Dean. Can I go there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to go there because here's why. I tend I tend to give coin collectors crap. I know we're all shocked. Um, but I'm like, how many coin collectors? I mean, how's your Standing Liberty collection? How's your Buffalo collection? How's your everybody just collects Morgans is my main point, and I look at
Not not
walking
true.
liberties.
Not true. But
I
yes,
know
I get
that's
what you're
not
saying.
true. I paint with
Yeah.
a large brush, but all I know is that there is a lot of channels on Morgans. No offense,
yes.
right?
Well, you're gonna get views. Yep.
And you're going to get views, and it's the most popular coin. We wouldn't be talking if it wasn't for Morgans, and I know that.
Yes. Yep.
But the Walker Magnet thing, everybody's like, it's one of the most beautiful coins. It is. Adolph's design, both sides. Weissman, right? Was that correct?
Yep.
See, I do know coin stuff. And it is it's such a good, great, beautiful design that they put it on the ASE, right?
Yep.
So, anyways, I'm just saying, I think it's really cool to say walking liberty and have a channel on that and run with it like Morgan's. I think that's really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there
full.
yeah, yeah, and there are some guys like, there's, I forget his name, and that's terrible, he does, all Benji's, Benjamin Franklin half hour.
Yes, yes.
It's a
Which
great channel. He doesn't have many subscribers, but it's a great channel. So it's kind of one of those things. I know when I put out a video that's going to be Canadian coins or Canadian currency, I'm going to get less views.
wait,
Um,
okay, I gotta pause. Right, exactly. I mean
yeah,
that's right. I
yeah,
mean, it's like, and that's okay. It is what it is. I really enjoy those off. I mean, Walker Magnet. There's nothing better than going to bed and turning on your channel and just going to sleep.
yeah.
That was a joke. Just kidding. Um,
Well, I hope he knows you're joking, Dan. But yeah, no, what? Yeah,
no, but if you haven't had a chance, go seriously, go check them out. And Big Apple, stop it. Thank you. Unnecessary, but stop that.
yeah,
I do love you too. And by the way, so I was talking to Big Apple, and I mentioned, I told him I got this Morgan back, and
yeah.
I asked him because Dean was of no help whatsoever to me with his Morgans.
That's right.
Um, so I'm like, hey, Big Apple, I'm looking for it has to be an 1886 Philadelphia because that is what's on the back of the Morgan. I got to have the actual coin. So I'm like, what should I get? What this? Dean is helping me on that side. Do this, do that. And I just mentioned it. Next thing you know, Big Apple, and I said no. And it's like I get this email confirmation. Big Apple has sent you something. He's sending me a Morgan 1886. Thank you, Big Apple. That was super. I mean, seriously, super nice of you. Anyways,
Yeah,
I digress. My standing Liberty set is the most behind of all my recent coins since you ask. Okay.
yeah,
I mean, that's just like, I mean, I do appreciate coins. I mean, I really do, especially those, you know, I, I'm sorry, Silver Surfer, if you're listening, show the Morgan Dan. I don't have it. It's on its way. And by the way, Joe from Coinbox, I'm going to come back to you.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to apologize, Silver Server, because I just don't think the seated Liberty is that beautiful.
yeah.
It just to me it's not. But whatever floats your boat. And somebody put a comment in there, the peace dollar. I love the peace dollar. It's my favorite big coin. And if I was to, I'm going to flip this around, so I apologize so I can see what I'm filming. But yeah, guys, I mean, I don't know if you can see that,
Nice
but
beer can.
so Dean gave me that beer can.
Uh,
But it's like I can't get a good light on it, and I'm not going to really try that hard.
it's all right.
But these are the fake ones that are from that one mint
Yeah,
because I wanted to have an example.
yeah.
So
Of
those
each.
these three are fake,
Yeah.
and then
Trade dollar.
the trade dollar is real. The
Yeah.
trade dollar is real. But
You
yeah,
get your
I love the
Morgan and your
Morgan,
piece.
and I also have got these little guys down here. If you've ever wondered and want to see what's really in there,
Yeah. I
um,
do like your Liberty, your new coin that you got there, that Liberty. That's
well,
really
my
nice.
yeah, my newest one that I put in here. And again, I'm trying to manipulate this, so sorry. I'm all new at this, guys.
Yeah,
My newest one is right there. It's kind of dingy, but it's a 1953 silver dollar from Cuba that goes with my Cuba notes.
yeah,
So, these are some of my favorite coins. This Canadian one with the Newfoundland celebrating them coming into the Dominion of Canada, that's a fantastic coin. It's just gorgeous.
yeah.
So, I'm lying, and I also have my half dollars. I
Joe
know.
from the coin box says you have more coins than he has.
I know. Wow. So, okay, for all of if you're, not to get, reveal my personal details, but that's where I'm from. So there was a coin because we were made All America City in 1964. Ooh. And there's the Minnesota State 150 sesquit, I don't know, whatever, 150 years. And
Yeah,
then I've just got my half dollars going back. I want an example, and this is one of my prideful ones. I had to get one commemorative. But then I love this one. This is my favorite coin. That 1861 seated Liberty, even though it's an ugly design. Sorry, Silver Surfer. But anyways, and then I've got, of course, that note hanging in there. Oh,
Yep.
hi, Georgie. This is personal. There is possibly the best dog in the history of the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah.
You really are. I mean, look how happy she is. Am I being a total idiot, guys, or just I don't care.
Man,
I'm
this
live.
is this is live. This is what you do.
So yeah, this is my two notes, and they'll probably sit up here for a while. The polar bear, and then this one was issued the year I was born. I'm half Finnish, so super cheap note. It really was, and it's super cool, and it's blue. We love blue, and I can't go past this again without saying thanks, Big Apple. Big Apple sent me to Carson City on that one. So,
Yep.
anyways, enough boring you guys on that. I'm going to turn it back around here
Yep.
and set me back up.
There you go.
Oh, but now the dog is sitting back there. Just look at it. I mean,
Just chilling.
how's the sound, by the way, everybody?
I don't
All
know. We
right,
gotta
so let's
put
get
him
back
on.
to the comments. Show the Morgan Dan. All right. Thank you. Sorry to be a dork. If this wasn't entertaining, I apologize, but
Yep.
thanks, cute dog. That polar bear. So now you know why it's polar currency, because I'm from a city called White Bear Lake. I'm born and raised here. It's White Bear High School. That's our mascot. So big shocker. And plus, I'm a total homer. I love my town. I work for the Historical Society. Anyways,
Do you? This is it. This is something. Do you call them townies? In That's what we call folks here in New Hampshire. If you grew up in a town and you stay in that town for life, you're a townie.
well, that is interesting. You can't quite do that with my community because there was townships first, then cities came from townships.
Hmm.
And White Bear Township still exists. They've got 11,000 people. They're a municipality. And then you got the city of White Bear Lake.
Yep.
So there's kind of this battle. So they're the townies. But
They're the
Dean, if
they're
I
the
was in anywhere,
townies.
they're the townies. If I was in anywhere else in Minnesota, yeah, you're a townie. You
That's
are a total
hilarious.
townie. That is
Oh, that's
correct.
funny. That's funny.
Sweet commemorative. Yeah, the polar bear coin was in there. I had to get that. And by the way, I had to get, if you saw the polar bear video, I did buy that coin for that video. And for me, I had to have it. When I saw it, I didn't know it existed until I researched the note. And I did show a 5 kroner, and it's on its way here. It's coming from overseas because it was the best deal and best looking one. 1944 5 kroner. That is the exact size as a half dollar of our half dollar because it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. So it's a World War II connection because
Yeah.
they made them for the World War II soldiers that were in Greenland because they didn't want Nazis invading Greenland because it was needed, one, to mine for resources and minerals, and two, obviously, it was a pit stop for an air base. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
all right. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys, Yeah, the historical research, Martin Bowen. Yeah, that is my gig. I mean, I've talked about it before, but it's like, yeah, I spend a lot of time, maybe too much, but me and my wife, we've been married for 37 years. She doesn't need to see me. Um, but I spend, depending on the video, probably 10 to 20 hours researching, and it probably takes me about, I don't know. And when I research, I'm also pulling all the visuals, by the way. That's kind of there at the same time. And I'm writing at the same time. So when I say research, I'm writing my script, and I do script everything because I don't want to forget anything. I don't want to, I'm wrong enough on my own. I don't want to be wrong. So
Yeah.
no, Ontario. I mean, Ontario 100. Thank you for that. Folks, if you're on here and you are not subscribed to Big Apple, Convicts Currency is here. Steals and deals. That thief, that absolute thief. Um, but you know, Ontario does a great job. Dean's channel does a great job. And you know what? We need more currency channels out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was the worst decision and the best decision, I guess, because now I got to talk to people like Dean.
Exactly.
Um, exactly.
Basically, this is I'm just realizing, this live is basically like one of our phone calls.
This is, and that's, yeah, it is one of our. This is okay. So we get together. Yep. I mean, Big Apple might join in. Ontario joins in a lot. I mean, we all talk one on one. Dustin Whitty's never available because he's always playing trivia or guitar or bass somewhere.
Yeah,
Plus he's a teacher, so he's got like a real thing to do. Actually people,
yeah,
for that. But the I just enjoy it. And I don't Dean, it was funny when we've told the story before, I'll tell it again. I tripped across Dean's channel by accident. And the first video I watched, he was showing off his national banknotes from his hometown.
yep,
Dean, I'm so jealous of that because my town was settled in the early 1850s, and it had a national bank, and it never issued notes.
yeah,
And so it just like retired Navy Rob, another channel. I
yeah,
mean, he does the research, he talks about it. And by the way, your nationals from Pottsville, Pennsylvania. I mean, you know
yeah.
what?
Those are cool.
You're pretty greedy, Rob.
Yeah,
Three national
yeah,
banks that issued currency, and I don't have one.
yeah.
By the way, if you ever see a White Bear Lake one come up, I totally faked it. I photoshopped it. Um, so I don't know. It seeing I forgot what I was talking about because this is why I write my scripts.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, Stone's Camp said that he loved my fractional notes video. I think
mm,
he's meeting the Canadian fractionals. Yeah,
yes,
those are really cool. I think again to try to get people to love Canadian stuff. I don't know.
I'm telling, yeah, I already went in there. But going back to your video, Dean, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
That was the first time I saw one of Dean's videos. One, the sound was great.
yeah,
Two, I hope we're sounding okay tonight. Two, his video, Dean, coin or currency, but hands down, nobody is even close. The closest person on coin is the Coin Geek. And what's impressive about him is that he pulls that thing out and just bam, he's on it. He's got that down. But Dean is better. But he had these nationals and it was from his hometown, and he just didn't stop with the banknotes. You had, what do they call it, Izumia or ephemera. Dean had ephemera for that national bank,
yeah,
different stuffs. Here's a check, and here's
yeah.
I don't know, did you have a bank bag? And you had these
Ooh, actually,
the
can I do
calculator.
this?
Yeah, you
I
can.
think I did. Yeah, let's see if I can do this. Let me see if I can. So, excuse the
All right.
mess in the living room here.
You go
This
there. I'm
is
going to catch up and see if we're missing any comments. Steve
yeah,
Nees, I appreciate that. I hope I'm saying it right. Obviously, Dean has a different generation of kids than I, unless
yeah.
they're your toys, Dean.
This is my newest little.
Oh, I like it.
So what's cool is this is from the
Oh,
Indian Head National Bank, and the Indian Head National Bank ended up buying the Wilton National Bank. So I've got all these.
uh,
I got all my little. Yeah. So Wilton National Bank. This is January 1962.
see, that is awesome.
Unused. Yeah, unused. Then I got my little matchboxes, or my matchbooks, I should say. Um,
I could
yeah,
use
three
a
percent
heater.
interest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I do toke, by the way. Just everybody,
Um,
I just do. I smoked for 25 years and I miss cigarettes so bad.
and
That
then
is
these are cool.
awesome.
So these are again advertising. There we go. 1928 Indian Head National Bank, Wilton, New Hampshire to 1978. Now, it says 1928 Indian Head National Bank, Wilton, New Hampshire. The 1928, that's when the Wilton National Bank opened. But because Indian Head bought it, I think in the early 70s, that's why they're getting away with saying that. So,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah,
you
this is
can't.
just, it's cool. It's cool. I got
That
two of them
to
too.
So that's what made me fall in love with Dean. And then I stalked
Yeah.
him and kept on commenting. And I think you blocked me for a while.
No,
Um,
I love that, Dad. Yeah, yeah,
but I reached out via email, and this is where I was glad that he posted, or I think you posted. I don't know. I reached out via email, and he's like, "Okay, creepy. Yeah,
yeah,
I do have a collector crush on Dean."
yeah,
Um, anyways, but it was just, and then I went back and watched a lot of his boring, even the Canadian cents, they were interesting, Dean, and I really
yeah,
appreciate what you put into yours. And like what you're doing, I'm not going to say, but what Ontario is working on a huge project, and it's super cool. I
yeah,
mean, and it's more than just filming a banknote. Let me put it that way. And I am
yeah,
so excited to see what he does with this, and it'll take him a while to put together. So that
yeah.
is all right. I'm just reading comments because I'm a guy I can't. I'm watching some Tuscaloosa notes on Heritage. Okay, love
That's
the
kind of cool.
Alabama. I can say this: we've got to know a guy out of Atlanta, Lee, and he is big into collecting very big into collecting Alabama obsoletes. Another area, by the
Yeah,
way, that if you haven't checked out, and Ontario is very good about bringing this up. So obsoletes can be very, very affordable. And for me, they fall into Cherry 1800. Thank you for the nice comments.
yeah.
Uh, the they should be again. I just forgot what I'm talking about because I'm old. I'm almost
Yeah.
60.
Well, while you're thinking coins making sense, I actually have no idea how to link my channel to this video. But if you
Oh,
type in Massabesic, which is spelled
here,
Massabesic, numismatics. That's what it is. I'll put it in the chat. Oh, there it is. Look at that,
there it
Joe.
is.
Joe just did it from. Thank you, Joe, from Coinbox.
By
Um,
and so this, by the way, before Dean, I cheated on Joe. Talk about a weird relationship with Joe.
yeah,
Joe from the coin box is another one, by the way. So Joe actually, you're getting kind of lazy because you're showing like 1,000 coins, Joe. Um, Joe, but yeah, Joe does the ultimate. I forgot Joe,
yeah.
and I'm sorry. I really am. He really is stunning video on coins. Sorry,
One of
Dean. He
my
does.
favorite. No, no, no. The one that you sent me that I absolutely love of his when he was showing die polish. That
Yes,
video that was just amazing. The animation that Joe did on that, just to really explain it. It's just yeah, it's so phenomenal. Yeah.
and Joe only does Mexican coins today.
Yep.
But if you
Yep.
go back, he does US back in the day.
Yep.
But seriously, folks, if you're into coins and you haven't found the coin box, you
Yep.
need to and go back and look at his stuff. He does the research, he does the photography, and he goes deep. And
Yep.
even though it's Mexican coins, his threads that he's picking up and what he's collecting is very interesting, and it's massive history. Mexican mint it's the oldest mint in North America.
Yep.
It's
He says he
massive.
still has his 1921 peace dollar. That is the one to hold on to if you're gonna keep one peace
Yeah,
dollar.
that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I'm going back in Big Apple Stacker. Yes, have to be blue. I don't know what that means. I kind of do, but I'm not going to go there. Um, R&R retired. Yeah, obsoletes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, check it out. Do some research. Buy some books. The Whitman books are fantastic, but like right now, they're not on sale. We made a run on them. I did. You saw
Okay.
that in the video. They were literally $30 a piece for a 300 page, 40-pound book, full color.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were dumping them. The set is not complete though, so that's where you still need Don Kelly's national book to help you identify and get you some pricing. The pricing isn't great though, folks. It
Yeah.
just gives you, hey, this is more expensive than this for that. Moderators are blue. Thank you, Walker Magnet. I don't know these things.
Yep.
Um, yes, this is again, yeah, this is something that I've avoided doing. And me and Dean weren't even going to do this tonight. We're like, well, let's test it.
I
And
know.
for those of you who are just joined again, we'll repeat
Yeah.
me being an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm on and I'm like, guys, we're just testing. I'm sorry, we didn't have any sound. We're being an idiot. So I just crashed it and said, come and, and then we came back and thank you.
Yep.
Costello weight loss. I really got to know what the heck that handle's about, by the way. So hello. Come on, Raiden's on here. Raiden Honecker from Heritage
Oh
Auctions
wow. We were
just
just
popped
talking
on.
about heritage. Yeah.
Yeah, we were ripping
Just
Heritage a new one. I mean, how they rip us off, and you only
oh
ship your notes 4 days after the auction. Come on. No, had great,
no, we
great,
were
great things to say about Heritage, and we appreciate it greatly.
yeah.
I will say this since we got you on, and if you're listening, Raiden, by the way, Raiden's collection, I've heard about him through Andy. Um, Raiden's collection is unbelievably unconscious. I can't even believe it to discuss it. But Raiden, so we got a couple complaints. Well, I'll call it constructive criticism. Obviously, I know that your business has to do what it does, but the
Yep.
auctions get long. And for some of us on the East Coast, especially when it's midnight finishing up. So, it, are you guys looking at, and you don't have to answer, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to. Um, you put lump errors and like lump errors together with what is it, Dean? Or just the nationals. Break the auctions down, separate them. We love the Tuesday auctions; they're great. We really
Oh
do.
yeah. Yeah.
But could we have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday auction so that they're like less than 2 hours long? I don't
Yeah.
know, and I get that that's more work for you. I totally get it. So that's my
Random answer. Well, yeah, because we were. I think the other night we had a ton of obsoletes. Then it went into the NPCs, and then there was a ton of even Disney notes. So it was like the notes that we were going to be bidding on was like coming way at the end. Which I get
yeah.
it. I get it. It's an auction house. They're very busy. They've got so much. They want to
I
make.
know.
They want to get a lot of people looking at one auction to stay interested. But it is hard, especially on the East Coast when your
I
item is the second to the last one.
Hey,
Yeah,
Star ATL, there he is. That's the guy who collects Alabama obsoletes, and it's kind of in a sick fashion, by the way. Kentucky John, come on. You know what? I've been on with Kentucky John with the Heritage Auction. He is possibly the most verbally abusive person I've ever been on the phone with, and I appreciate it. But
yeah,
we make fun of the Disney.
yeah,
I will not say that. Whatever floats your boat, folks. You know what? I collect the weirdest stuff ever, and I'm sure people just go, "What is your problem?" But Disney's that's kind of getting back to Heritage Auctions, saying, "Hey, can
yeah,
you package those Disneys with something?" I don't know how to do it. I don't want to disrespect any, the error notes, the fancy serial numbers. They kind of go together. They kind of go
yeah,
together. So
yeah.
package them together and then put Disney's all at the end.
Oh, here
Just
we
saying.
go. Raiden says, "We have toyed with the idea in the past. However, we have come to a very long way compared to the." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Thank
I
you, Raiden.
agree. Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I think that's absolutely, yeah, right on.
And I
Um,
I I agree.
and
Yes.
you want to attract as many people to an auction. So if you're throwing fancies in there, even though it's annoying to wait, you know,
Yep.
you want to bring as many people to that one auction. So
And
it
this
makes
is
sense.
sincerely constructive feedback. Thank you for answering. But yeah, we know. I mean, uh, Andy from the Currency U, my buddy. He's been down there, visited your facility, and it's a busy place.
Yeah,
You guys would be you have no idea if you think there's a lot of currency, times that by everything else: movie posters,
yeah,
books, antiquities. It's a massive big company, and that's okay. Um, and speaking of, I mean, they're the only that auction is really nice to have. Unlike eBay, I appreciate great collections, but basically it's a fancy eBay,
Yep.
right? It just is. But I
Raid
do.
Raiden's adding some more, so why don't you go ahead and read those because he's
Okay, so Braden's
thank
saying
you,
we've
Raiden.
cleaned up
Yeah.
the sale. We have lot minimums of 150. In the past, we had no minimums. That is okay. That's very helpful.
Yep.
Over 5 years ago, the weeklies would end at 1 to 2
Yeah,
a.m.
I believe it. I believe it.
Now 10 to 11 Central Standard Time.
Yep.
And I get that, and I'm also gonna, yes, keep keep doing what you guys are doing. I
Yep.
realize you're a company, you got to make business, and I'm not sucking up. I get it.
Yep. Raiden,
Because,
I'm just whining because I live on the East Coast.
well, I gotta believe that it's tough for the West Coast guys too when the auction starts
It can
at
be. Yeah.
they're coming home, they're stuck in 4 lanes of traffic, and that's the small freeway.
Yep.
Um, but you cannot please everybody. But
You
sincere
cannot.
thank you for I still appreciate what Heritage and Raiden what you're doing for the hobby.
Absolutely.
And I will defend, well, yeah, yeah, your charge is too much. Everybody's is. Okay, we don't want to pay anything. But alls I know is that I'm getting fair market deals, sometimes a
Oh
couple
yeah.
steals on
Yep.
Heritage and Ontario. You pointed that out with your video with Tyler, the 12-year-old currency collector. Um, you know what? They did a great video on, hey, these notes sold on Heritage, and a week later they're up on eBay for 40%, double, triple. There was one note that was 3 times what they had. So Braden's also saying with the
Yep.
recent introduction of our specialized quarterly showcase auction. Yep, you guys do
Yep.
that
That's
too.
right.
I
Yep.
forgot about that. Those are
Yep.
cool. The weeklies have decreased in volume. Yep.
Yep.
That's understandable because those big auctions are fun too. They are.
They are.
I think we
They
all
are.
like them.
Yep.
So yeah, Tyler. Okay, funniest line ever. I'm going to divert away. If our last currency roundtable, we got a little personal because we'd been apart for a while. We said, "Hey, what's up, Dave? What's happening with your life?" Dean is a pastor, and he's been a hospice pastor for the past 20 years. And he said, "I want to change
Oh,
directions."
pump the brakes. It was 15.
15, 20, Dean, I'm
Yeah.
60, man.
I hear
It
you.
doesn't matter. Anyway, so you've been a hospice minister for a long, long time,
Yep.
and if you've ever had to meet with a hospice minister, I'm sorry, because it's always in those awkward situations. You're in a hospital, things are not good, and so that's why I appreciate Dean because he's kind of nice, but he's not. Um,
Thanks.
anyways, he's got his
I
own
know.
church. I'm going to be a grandfather. Then Tyler just comes out of nowhere. I'm about to have my professional boxing debut.
Yep.
I mean, I just about shat my pants. I had no idea that was coming. But Dustin Whitty, I get to Dustin. Dustin, what's up with you? I'm training. I'm training because I'm going to fight Tyler. It's just,
It was funny.
it
Yeah,
was funny.
it was
All
very
right.
funny.
Raiden Honecker. Okay.
Yeah, he's just talking about those specialty
Oh,
auctions,
yeah. Yep. The
CSA.
CSAs,
Yeah, I
colonials.
think.
And,
Yeah,
and that is good to separate
it
those
is.
out. But
I really enjoyed. They did the error auction the other day, and I watched that, and I even bought an error from that auction. And that was just really cool to see so many errors in one auction. That was just so many different. Yeah, it was pretty amazing actually. A lot
yeah,
of stuff was out of my reach, but still, it was cool to see.
I mean, it is. I mean, I know Big Apple and Convict and Jeff Davis and Kentucky John, they get together and they watch them. They
Yep.
might be interested or maybe not. So, I mean, that is like Ontario's sending out. This has become like I want to cut a Raiden. This has come like a promo for Heritage.
I know.
Um,
Yeah, because Raiden's saying they're gearing up for their next signature auction, almost complete with the catalog. $12, 12 million plus sale,
12
2,000
million.
lots. That's crazy. That's awesome.
That is
That's really good.
crazy.
That's really great.
Wow. That's almost staggering.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are other auctions. Sorry, Raiden. Stax Bowers is out there. Big Apple likes to say, where Heritage, and I kind of disagree with you, Big Apple, but I see your point that Stacks Bowers, their notes tend to be up a level, which isn't
Yeah,
true all the time, but I get it. But the problem with Stacks Bowers is that you don't know when their auctions are never. They don't do enough. They don't have enough volume to do an every Tuesday or an every other Tuesday, and so
yeah,
their auctions kind of come up random and they're hard to predict. And that's all good. I get it. I do get it. Then you got great collections. Every Sunday night they have their currency going off, and I don't like advertising for them because um, you can pick up some deals.
yes,
If you're not watching great collections, you're not doing yourself a favor.
yeah,
And there's also, if you want some really obsoletes and some nationals and some curiosity World Bank notes, Lynn Knight. And shout out to Lynn Knight. I've never purchased anything from him because it is actually very, very difficult. It's hard to figure out. And so, just FYI to any Lynn Knight auction fans, yeah, I mean, it's just I just got on there and I'm like, I finally got into one auction and I still don't know what the hell I'm doing half time. But
yeah.
anyways, all right. Lee is yelling at people. Shh, no Alabama auction. Shh,
No, none at
move it
all.
along. Move it
Yeah.
along.
And I
So
was just gonna say thank you, Martin, for saying thank you to me. So thank you. Just wanna return the gratitude because it is all about gratitude.
yeah, I mean, Martin, you're absolutely right. The my last video that I just put out a couple days ago, I'm trying to promoting small size is not what my aim is. Is that like those 10 notes that I talk about? Man, those have got great history, great stories.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
they need a little love, and they deserve it. And there is the big notes, the large size. They are just so unique and special. But you do get to a certain point, and everybody does. This kind of ties into grading with Andy, and you know these notes get to be so expensive.
Yeah.
So if you can afford higher grades, that's awesome. But you're going to cross a threshold like Tyler. Tyler is a great example from Currency Relics. He's getting up. He wants these notes. He wants a $1,000 gold certificate, and he got it. He
Yeah.
wanted a $1,000 Federal Reserve note, 1918. He got it, but they're lower condition, and he still shelled out. I'm guessing 8 to 10 grand for each of those.
Yeah.
So at some point, you're going to have to lower your grade. Everybody does. Maybe there's a couple people out there. I'll say, the person who's with my spotlight notes, that guy. Okay, he's one of them, and it's fun to have a relationship with him because he puts his pants on one leg at a time. We are
Yeah.
playing the same game. Yeah, he's trying to buy a $40,000 banknote. I'm trying to buy a $400 banknote. It's still fun to talk currency with them. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
it is. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, oh, here we go. Walker Magnet. Enough of this Alabama thing. I mean, come on. Let's talk Minnesota. That's super
Uh,
interesting up here in the
yeah.
Great White North. Um, Big Apple. Yeah, you are following the armored truck.
Yeah.
You definitely are following it. So, all right, Dean, we've been on talking for
I was gonna say over an
over
hour.
over an hour. Never,
Boy,
this wasn't supposed to happen.
it was not.
So I'm going to say, hey, for those of you guys who are on, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
One, I'm going to wait for the response on this. Should we do this every once in a while? Question mark. Is this entertaining?
Well, we got 32 people here, 26 likes, and yeah, we got a heart. We just got a heart. So
All
yeah,
right.
I'm saying
Well,
yes. Yeah.
and so Doug and A&A show in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Okay, I had heard that. I heard it. A&A is not my favorite, but I heard the show is outstanding. I've never been to one. Be spontaneous. All right, Lee. I'll be spontaneous. Pound sand, brother. From Atlanta. Pound it.
Oh,
Oh,
Raves,
wait a
Raves.
minute.
Yeah.
Wait
There
a
you go.
minute.
There you go.
Andy shows up to the show. All right. We got to stay on a little bit for that guy because,
Yeah.
Andy's just a pain in the ass to deal with. No, that's Andy Andrew Timmerman, and I'm calling you out, Andy. Sorry. He has his own channel, Bank Notes with Andy, or no, Andy's Notes, and that's Andy's with a Z at the end.
Yeah.
Another channel. If you have not watched his channel, I don't want to. I don't find it tedious, but he goes through note after note after note. Raiden, just saw your comment. I'm going to hold you on to that. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I've been. Yes, yes is the answer to that. Andy though, his channel and that developed the Andy. That's where I got the tidbits. He does the Currency U co-hosting with me. He is not a guest. That is a co-host situation. Um, but man, his knowledge is staggering. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And he's young. He's 40-ish. I don't know. Which is like, in the bottom 3% of coin collectors,
Hey,
or currency
I'm
collectors.
I'm 45.
So that
Thank
means
you
you're
very
in the
much.
4%. I mean,
Okay.
most guys are like me in Ontario where we're, pushing 1,000. Um, so yeah, okay. So Andy's saying, hey, we're going to get Raiden on with us. He'll be on a Currency U.
There you go.
Yeah, old balls, my ass. Cody, that's Cody. Cody's the guy Cody, thank you, by the way. Um, Cody was great with the Facebook. I needed some information for my 1909 bank run postcard, which, by the way, Raiden has one personally. I don't know who had the other one, but Andy did know. Oh, that was Sean from up here in Minnesota. So I don't know, that whole 1909 bank run video. That was one of the funnest videos I ever done.
Yeah.
But Cody runs the Facebook group for National Banknotes on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
And I had asked a question and he got back to me smack quick. And it was helpful because I was already in production of the video, and Andy told me, he's like, hey, there's another one out there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Another one, another postcard. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, that Raiden Honecker's got a blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And I wanted to know where the first one came from. And it was actually from Sean Hewitt, who is an expert Minnesota national banknote obsolete guy. He wrote a book, literally. I actually don't have it with me right now. I normally do. Anyways, Raiden, let's call out this. Raiden saying, I have an entire collection of currency. I don't know what that is.
PPCs.
What is R? I don't know that acronym. RPPCs. Help me out on that, Raiden. Raiden's collection is incredible. I gotta believe it. But this is what's fun. Oh, thank you. Real photo
Real photo
postcards.
postcards. Okay.
Okay, so thank you, Raiden. And by the way, for my business, what I'm in with the working for a historical society, we deal with the stereo views all day long. And it was funny, I was pouring through and I was, photographing, stereo view cards from like 1850, because we're doing a new exhibit and blah blah blah. But it was fun. And so that's kind of what I do for a living too. I give historical talks. I am the creative director, so I help produce and make the designs for do the visuals and the graphics for the designs, our brochures, blah blah blue. Sorry, but yeah, that ephemera, and that's something Ontario gets into, and it's like I think that's a direction I'm going to be going into with my national banknotes. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've completed my set.
Yeah.
I really don't know where else to get except a cool one comes along every once in a while. And so now I want to do things like Ontario has gotten a postcard. Dean, you've gotten checks, that Indian Head Bank, things like that to go along with those.
Yeah.
Um, Martin, what time next Thursday? Is this a regular thing? You
uh,
know what, Martin? That's not a bad idea. If we're gonna do this, I mean, because me and Dean, we literally, this was just, hey, let's practice. We're
yeah.
idiots. And we went live by accident, blah, blah, blah. But I was gonna put it out. I was gonna put a little blurb video announcement saying, hey, we're going live Sunday at 7 p.m. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, and so maybe it is kind of a thing like that. I got to figure out the whole thing because I'd like to, add some more people to this. But at this point, for our knowledge, right now today, YouTube, we can only get one other camera, and you got Dean, you know, being Bruce Springsteen dancing in the dark right there.
Well, sorry, yeah, this is yeah. I was on the treadmill, everybody. So like,
Yeah, I know
yeah, I was, yeah. That's why I got my hoodie, my workout hoodie.
the
Yeah,
hoodie.
it's all good. It's all good.
Bring the kid boxer. So you guys,
Yeah,
see,
Tyler,
all
you're
right,
the
all
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I'm hearing you, everybody. So what we need to do. By the way, I will announce this. Big Apple has joined the panel of the Currency Roundtable. Just FYI, he was supposed to be on last video, but he had some personal business that he couldn't make the time. But he's coming. He's coming. Woo-hoo. Um, which is going to be scary, scarier than hell, because he's like a box of chocolates. You open that up, you don't know what's coming out. Um, Speaking of photos, I'm trying to get the okay. So now, all right, Stones Camp. Now we're getting deep. They're having their. This is awesome. Have your own mini conversation. This is great.
yeah.
This is great. Martin Bowen, are you talking about Tyler being funny too? Um, we'll free to test them.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to ask Ontario. Um, can I? So you had a recent visitor. Can I tell that story? Are you doing something with that?
I don't know if he's still there. I think he is
Yeah, maybe he is.
typing away, typing away.
Well, no, I'm just saying this is how cool, these things can you can start talking to each other and things like that. And there is honestly there is only so much time to talk to people. And it's one of the biggest things that I don't have enough time to talk to everybody that I want to. And
Right.
there's 4 or 5 people on here tonight that I wish I could talk to you 4 hours every week. Trust me. Except you, Big Apple. So what so these relationships, so what happened is that on the round table, Tyler is the youngest. I think he's 24,
Yeah.
and Ontario is the oldest. And that's, Ontario's not as old as we make fun of. He really isn't. He's fun to make fun of, but
Yep.
um they talk a lot. They text back and forth. Yes, Ontario does know what texting is. Um Ontario was down on was down in Ontario in no, sorry, Tyler was down in Ontario's neck of the woods in the south. He's South
Yeah.
Carolina, visiting his brother. So they hooked up and they went to a coin show, went out to lunch, and just I mean, I'm just like Ontario. I'm 94. You are not. You're 102. Um, but yeah, and so I just think that's super cool. It is super cool, and I know for a lot of us, I mean, for me, until I did my YouTube channel, I never talked to another currency collector until I started doing
Yeah.
YouTube. Never.
Yeah.
And so for me, this has just been the weirdest thing that ever went. That this whole universe of talking currency with folks and even coins a little bit,
Yeah.
even fancies. And Stu, yeah, Stu. By the way, somebody said Stu did get a new job. Yeah, Stu's training the future
Yeah.
of poker dealers. And I got a set of twos for you, Stu. Um, anyways, so you guys, you know what, you guys, Martin, thank you. I appreciate it. I am trying to grow. I'm at least trying to keep the hobby. I'm trying to keep the hobby accessible. I'm trying to keep the hobby affordable. I'm trying to keep we don't need barriers in our hobby. And it's something I don't want to be stamp collectors. And why we say that, not making fun of stamp collectors, is that I've gathered information that stamp collectors, pretty much the old guard, said we don't want new people. We
Yeah.
don't want to share information.
Right.
And that's completely wrong. If we want our notes to be valuable tomorrow, we need to promote our hobby and stay active and help other people join. Um, that's really really important to me. So
Yeah.
so that's my mission, and because of me and being not financially being able to do a lot of the things that I want to buy, I'm a cheapskate,
Yeah,
and I get what I can, and I think I have a damn nice collection. I'm very happy with it.
yeah.
Um, so, anyways, share information. Yep, it's the hardest thing about paper currency. Um, so, anyways, I just I don't know what else to say. Get your books for stuff like that. So this is, I guess, we get on here and bullshit. And I'm hearing
Like I
that
said, it's like our normal phone calls.
and I guess everybody's saying we need to be live. And again, the only thing with the round table, by the way, it is not rehearsed, folks. It isn't. We have a subject. I
Yep.
email out the subject to people and say, hey, get your stuff ready. And I just read that too, Dean.
Yeah.
Stu's probably working, to be honest,
Yeah.
because those guys tend to work at night.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I was gonna say good night, Martin, and yeah, see you next Thursday.
see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Enjoy the veal. Enjoy the veal. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So I
good.
don't know. I you know I like the roundtables because they are off the cuff. I do a little bit of editing to shorten it up to keep it to an hour, but not much. And I like to show the notes. Again, showing notes is super important. When we talk, notice I've avoided talking about too many specific notes tonight because if there's newer collectors out here, I want them to be able to identify what that is when I'm talking about it. That's important to me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
stones
Yeah.
can. Note collecting is like an art.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can always look and dream. All right.
Yeah.
One last thought. The best thought from Ontario is like Ontario's like, when I go to a show, um, I might be there only half an hour and then I buy what I want to buy. And the next 2 hours is like I'm at a museum.
Yep.
And that is
What
so true.
it
That
is
is
so
so
true.
true.
It is so true. But to hear a South Carolina accent with a little Minnesota thrown in there is awesome.
Well, yeah, because we do have our accent up here. You know,
Oh,
yeah,
that's great.
that's all right. All right, folks.
Oh
Hey,
boy.
thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I want to thank everybody that came on and joined in. This was fun. We will, don't you know? Yeah.
Don't you know?
Okay, so I'm going to tell this story, Dean. I wish I could play it right now. So
Oh
Dean
boy.
Dean sends me this Instagram reel, right?
Yeah.
And it is this video, and it's showing this, I don't know, 20 something daughter in her bedroom at home. She lives with her parents, and her parents were, having some sex. And just what they were
Sex.
saying was all Minnesota, just
Yes.
Minnesota stuff. I don't know if anybody's on from Minnesota, but our accent, but it's like, and Dean's like, what's oofta?
I
And I'm
know.
like,
That's yeah. It's like, what is that?
all right, good night, Martin. But it's like, what's oofta? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oofta? You never heard of oofta? I mean, it's like,
Uh,
whoo, that's a lot of work. Oofta. Man, oofta. And then you ask, and he's like, what are
oh, I
the
forget. Well, the
some
Ann is it Annie's cookies? What was
and
the
yeah, she's like,
An-
oh, come on, give it to me give it to me like Annie's cookies. And he goes, "Oh, my tater tots, they're hard as the Shane Company diamonds." And the husband replies, "Shane Company, yeah, we got diamonds. We're on Radio Drive and I-94." All these things were
yeah,
so specifically Twin Cities, Minnesota, and the
yeah,
accents were spot on.
yeah,
And if you've ever watched Fargo, those accents are spot on. The farther north you get, though,
yeah,
obviously you hear mine. It's not as thick as Fargo, but the farther north you get, we're half Canadian. Honestly, we
yeah.
are. We
Drink your
really are.
milk.
Yeah,
Your
drink
milk.
your milk. Yep, I'm gonna go have some milk. Milk. All
Oh
right.
boy. Yeah,
All right.
that's yeah, folks. This is pretty much our telephone conversation.
This is it. Yeah, Margie. Hey, Marge. How you doing?
Oh boy.
You know. Anyways, you guys have been awesome. We're going to shut her down and
Yeah.
have a great night. And we'll be back.
Have a
And
great night.
since we got a clue, we'll probably give you a heads up on our channels saying that, hey,
Yeah,
we're going to go live and let you know instead of just popping on. So,
yeah.
all right. Have a good evening, folks. Thanks for joining.
Take care.